Our Schlockmeisters fans, another re-review from my previous channel. Willard. Let's check it out.
I know, Mr. Martin.
Meet Willard and his boss, Ernest Borgnine.
I want to see these Monday morning at 9 a.m. And I mean 9 a.m.
He doesn't like Willard. His mother has thrown Willard a surprise birthday party. He's 27.
That's
the least Martin can do after what he did to your father.
His dad and his boss started that company, but father's been dead for a while now.
Martin, take over the business.
Anyway, the Willard household has rats.
Clean up your backlog of work. All of it. You hold up my sales department or even my shipping department one more time. Shut up, Willard.
Mr. Barton's kind of an asshole to Willard, but Joan, Sandra Locke,
I always give you that much work to do?
she's nice.
You can call me Joan, Mr. Stiles. Did you kill the rats?
Yes.
He didn't. He decided to let them live.
Swimming around and around.
You make noises.
He has no friends, so he decides to befriend the rats.
And you can't make any sense out of mine. So I'm going to try to teach you a new word.
So he lets them come in the house, stay in the basement. We got baby rats. The big fat black rat is Ben. Can't catch a break with Mr. Martin.
Go on. Crawl out of here.
The food he was referring to was a party at Mr. Martin's house. He sent his rats in to cause chaos. Willard gets distressing news that his mother has passed away. Now he's alone. Well, he's not completely alone. He's letting the rats into the basement.
This food and water. What I'm going to do? I'm going to take you to the office with me tomorrow.
That's Socrates.
It's Saturday and nobody will be there in the afternoon.
But then Joan gives him a cat.
Oh, her name's Chloe. She's a present for you. I couldn't bear thinking of you all alone, Willard. Well, cats are really very good company.
Turns out there's a lot of money owed on the house.
Easy, Willard.
They're going to sell my house for tax.
After he gets rid of Joan, he decides to get rid of the cat. Well, he decides he needs money, so he's going to steal some.
Come on, Walter, wake up.
With the help of the rats. The rats help scare the couple out of their house, giving him enough time to get in there and steal the money. Clever, Willard, clever.
This is a woodpecker's hamburger.
Mr. Martin wants to buy it.
Just exactly what do you want, Mr. Martin?
I want you to do me a favor. Help me to help Willard. You can help us both by persuading him to sell me his house.
She gets a pink slip.
Did you have a fight with her?
Not with her. It's all right, Willard. It was just a temporary job.
Then Willard gets a pink slip.
Giving me my notice.
That might force him to sell the house for money.
Big deal. I get 30 days.
Well, he brought Socrates in to work with him, and then somebody found the rat. And now Mr. Martin's going to kill him. Of course, Willard can't say anything.
God, look at the rats.
Yes.
Revenge that evening.
Rats. Not just one anymore.
come to talk to you. They've killed my mother. And third, you're trying to ruin me.
Willard, what are you talking?
You never left me alone for a minute.
He sicks the rats on him.
No, Willard! No, Willard! Willard, no! No, Willard!
That's the end of Mr. Martin.
Goodbye, Ben.
After he saw the gruesome demise of Mr. Martin, he thought that's too much. They were eating him and everything, so he decides he's going to drown all the rats. But it turns out the rats chewed their way out and escaped, including Ben. So he sends Joan away, and Ben brings in his buddies.
Okay, I guess we have to make a deal. Now, you came here for food, and you behave yourself, and you'll get it.
He decides he's going to feed them, but he's going to feed them with some pesticide. He fails, and our film basically ends with the rats eating Willard instead. All right, let's talk about this movie, Willard. It's kind of a classic horror film from the 70s, one of those films that a lot of people saw, a lot of people remembered. So we have this mild-mannered guy, Willard. He works in this mundane job that his father had started this business. Actually, his father and this partner of his, played by Ernest Borgnine, ran this business. His father is now deceased. Ernest Borgnine runs the place. Al is his name. And Al does not think very highly of Willard and puts him down all the time. At home, Willard lives with his mother, who's kind of decrepit and old at this point. They live in an old house. They owe a lot of money on it. I think the mortgage payments are a little behind. Things aren't going great in the life of Willard. Well, at one point, there's some rats in the house, and Willard's mom tells him to get rid of the rats, so he's going to go outside and kill them, drown them, whatever. And then he takes pity on them, actually, and just says, screw it, I ain't killing you guys. And then he starts befriending some of the rats. He has a rat named Queenie, one named Socrates, and he gets his big black one named Ben. And he basically lets them stay in his basement. He feeds them, takes care of them, that sort of thing. So he has a bunch of rats as pets. Anyway, his mom dies at one point, and then he ends up losing his job at work. Al is kind of an asshole and fires him. And then he sets these rats loose. Actually, what happens once, he brings the rats to work on weekends because he's being forced to work on weekends before he loses his job. And then a woman discovers the rats, and then Al runs in. And, of course, he can't say anything, can Willard, so Al runs in with a broom and kills Socrates, and so he's very upset about this, is Willard. Later on, he comes back at night and basically has the rats attack Al, and Al falls out of a window and dies, so that's the end of him. Meanwhile, Al was actually trying to buy his house, too, since he had no money left over, and he lost his job, and then he was thinking maybe he'll be forced to sell the house, that sort of thing. But anyway, Al is gone now. And then at one point, he decides no more rats. He's done with the rats, and he tries to kill them all. Does Willard, and he tries to dunk them in these tanks or this well he has outside. But unbeknownst to him, they escape from that well and live. And then Willard's in his house later on. And he sees Ben, and the rats are back. So he has this woman over, actually sends her home. And then the rats and Willard basically fight each other. Willard's trying to attack them, and then they all attack him. And that's kind of how our movie ends, just like that. So as the rats kind of ascend on Willard and presumably kill him. That's the end of Willard. So there you go. Now, anyway, it's a rat movie, and it's actually a pretty decent film. A very, 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 very memorable to those people who saw this movie. It's one of those movies that I think used to play on like Sunday afternoons on your local channel, maybe late at night, the Friday night movie of the week type of deal, or you know, the late night horror host would show Willard. Again, it's a very memorable film, and it's a pretty decent one. No nudity, pretty tame by most standards, but a pretty fun watch, actually. A good way to kill 95 minutes. They made a sequel to this movie, I think the next year, maybe it was 2 years later, and I think it was the next year, Ben, which I guess follows the story of Ben. And that's Michael Jackson actually wrote and sang the theme song to Ben, which I think went to #1, Love Song to a Rat. So anyway, spoiler alert, that review's coming very, very soon as well. So anyway, that is Willard. Again, decent movie. I was very happy when Scream Factory put this out. I think they put this out on Blu-ray 5 years ago, about with Ben at the same time, and good job. There's an interview on here with Bruce Davison, who plays Willard too. So check it out. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think about Willard. Oh, by the way, this movie was remade. God, maybe it was 2003 or so, maybe a couple years later. Crispin Glover played the title role of Willard. Don't think I ever saw that movie, but there you go. Willard, check it out. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think about it. Watch it. Bye.